Metroid II.
Metroid. Omoroid.
And so now that we've killed the 2 Metroids of this area, including the brand new type, we're gonna head down here where the lava originally was, into a brand new sector. And this will likely be the final part of the series since, yeah, there are only 4 Metroids left and then we're done. Which I think means this is gonna be just one part shorter than the original Metroid. And you know, that's about right in terms of game length, I would say. They're both fairly short games, but this one I would say is just a bit shorter. It probably ended up getting stretched out a bit since I'm less familiar with this game and where to go most of the time. Not to say there's a lot of exploring in this game, because there really isn't, but just in terms of remembering where each individual Metroid is. Now in this final sector of the game we have this incredibly sinister music playing throughout. And we gotta go over here. I just hope I don't miss any Metroids through this area, because that always means backtracking. Oh, what do we have here? We have these bubble platforms. This kind of reminds me of the original Metroid. There were a lot of these in that game. Oh, here's a husk. There he is. And it's another Omega Metroid. The key is really shooting them in the back, if you can, because that not only does more damage in terms of how many missiles you have to use, but also temporarily stuns them. And that way these guys can be fairly easy, especially with the screw attack allowing you to just power through them as they're charging at you. Honestly, the screw attack would have made a lot of those Zeta Metroids a lot easier. There we go. Alright, that's one of them down. Here's a dead end. Okay, we gotta go this way now. Another similar looking room. That is kind of a problem in a game like this where you need to remember where to go, and you need to find each individual Metroid. If there are a lot of rooms that look very similar, it can be very easy to get lost. Oh, another husk. And it's another Omega Metroid. It seems these are the only ones we're facing from this point on. There we are. We do lose quite a bit of health just from making contact with those guys, which is really the biggest problem with them. Or really the only problem, I would say. We have another Metroid husk on the other side of that corridor. I don't know what this liquid is supposed to be, honestly, but anyway, here's the Metroid right here. The whole weakness on the back thing might have also been a factor with the Zeta Metroids, I'm not entirely sure. It would make sense if it was. Heck, there might have been weak spots for all the Metroids, I just haven't been using too well. There we are. Just one single Metroid remaining. Let's get moving. You know, talking about how many parts this series is compared to the original Metroid, it makes me wonder how short series like Kirby's Dream Land and Castlevania and Super Mario Bros. Would have been. Those were some of my first Let's Plays where I didn't edit the videos down at all. And so imagine if I edited them down. Like Kirby's Dream Land, the original, took 2 parts total. Without any editing. Like that would have been half a part to compared to these videos, honestly. Then again, a lot of the parts I make are less about time exactly, and more about progress overall. At least most of the time. In adventure games like Legend of Zelda, that's harder to determine because it's not like there's checkpoints or levels or anything. But in a game like Super Mario Bros. 3 where there's individual worlds, sure, I'll divide each part up by a world, why not? Maybe if a certain world takes longer than another, then they'll be divided up there. And down here is where we need to go. And I believe this pathway only opens up once you have killed those 3 Omega Metroids. They intend to save this last one, well, for last, as you'd imagine. The sinister music has not ceased, so there's certainly still a bit of concern in the air. I'm not sure what to think of this liquid. It's just one solid color of gray. Nothing else really to it. It doesn't seem to hurt us either. Like, we're just... Oh no, I forgot this was a thing in this game. It's like Simon's Quest. Okay, I'm just gonna moonjump over all of this liquid from now on. You can kind of see a difference, I just noticed, with the little black outlines around these rocks right here. And so that's nice, it's not quite as unforgiving as Simon's Quest. But also you have infinite jumps, so who really cares? Why are they introducing this at this point in the game? Save point right here. And we gotta go up this shaft, through this weird gray liquid, whatever it is. And up here we have 3 different corridors. Or 3 different entrances, rather. What do we have up this one here? This one has energy and missile refill. How nice. On the one directly over here. Oh, this is not one. Uh-oh. Oh no! Oh no! And the middle one here is... Oh yes. So I mentioned before how I got the ice beam earlier. We could also get it here next to this broken Chozo statue. Which, man, is that disturbing to see. That's the middle one, and now the one on the far left is the one we actually need to go in. And there's a completely different music track playing in this area now. There appears to be some strange object right there. And suddenly, our Metroid counter just jumps up to 9. And this may seem loathsome, like, oh no, I gotta fight more Metroids, until you realize these are the original Metroids. And they're fought the exact same way as the original game. You bomb them to get them off you, you shoot them with the ice beam to freeze them, and then 5 missiles. It's all about getting the jump on these guys. Hit them with the ice beam and you're pretty much good to go. This is why we need the ice beam, and honestly, this is why I kind of like this moment. At first you would kind of loathe fighting more Metroids, but instead this kind of serves as a friendly callback to the original game. Since these guys are defeated much faster than all of the other Metroids we face in this game, it makes this bit a lot quicker. And again, you don't loathe the sudden increase in the counter. It's more like a final challenge instead of an entire new section of the game. Just 3 left. There we are. And, oh, got him. And suddenly the earthquake begins, when there's still 1 more remaining. And that's because we're not quite done yet. An even more ominous track plays, and there seems to be some noise in the background. Traveling along here, we can drop down this chute. And this is where we face the Queen Metroid. Now normally we can just shoot missiles at it, but also if we shoot a missile at it right when its mouth comes towards us, like, didn't open its mouth that time. Come on you. Oh, it's not opening its mouth? Come on. There we go. We can morph ball inside and bomb its stomach like so, which does the most damage you can imagine. Typically it only opens its mouth on the second lunge towards you. And to avoid these projectiles, we can just easily screw attack out of the way. Oh. Sometimes it doesn't open its mouth in the second head lunge, which can be kind of annoying since it's somewhat luck-based there. The higher pitched its screaming gets, that means we're closer to killing it. Now, there's nothing in the game that directly tells you about this strategy of going inside and bombing it, which is kind of ridiculous. Like, it does shriek when you shoot missiles at its head, so you might think you're actually making progress just shooting it with missiles. But killing it with just missiles is nearly impossible from what I've done. It also is annoying that you have to take damage in order to go inside, like, it's kind of forceful in that way. Of course, this is another Aliens reference, having the queen of the alien species be the final boss. Oh, come on, why didn't you stop that time? Oh, how much more are you gonna take? There we go. Go inside, bomb it. Oh, we're so low on health though. There we go. There we go, we got it. And its head falls down. It's dying in a very strange position. I don't think any other being in a video game has died like that. But we did it. We defeated the Queen Metroid. As much as I like the impact of the boss and having the Queen Metroid and everything, it's kind of a lame fight, you know? It just shoots projectiles and lunges its head. And the main strategy hurts you, which is kind of rude. Then again, the last boss just stood there while rings flew at you, so... You know, we're 0 for 2 right now, but we'll get better, I promise. I love this calming track that plays. And suddenly... A baby Metroid emerges from this egg. One that helps clear the path and just simply surrounds us. It seems to think we're its mother of sorts. Wrong franchise. And I guess this is the alien's reference to Newt, in a way? But it's one of my favorite moments in the game. We've been killing Metroids this whole time, and to have one help us? It's endearing. I do kind of wish that the counter went up one, since, well, there is another Metroid now. But maybe the counter is to represent Metroids you need to kill, and this one we certainly do not. And no, there's no bad ending where you kill this baby Metroid, you just can't hurt it at all. You monster. As we travel around these hills and the stars are our background, we can tell we've made it back to the surface. And way down here, it's our ship once again. Let's head back in and go home. And that is Metroid II. As we get this simple running animation for some reason, we get the staff credits. Shout out to Gunpei Yokoi, of course. He's a big head in all of these games. So, overall my thoughts on Metroid 2. I enjoy some aspects of it. It has a lot of potential, but it's very flawed. Similar to the first Metroid, but for different reasons. In the case of the first Metroid, the biggest problems are the password system and respawning with just 30 health. This game mitigates that by having save systems where you respawn with however much health you had, of course. Although, this game has its own flaws different from the first Metroid, namely the incredibly linear and repetitive structure, and I would say also just some of the game design. Like the space jump can break a lot of the level design. The standard enemies other than the Metroids aren't too difficult at all. In fact, they can be considered kind of passive. And some of the Metroid fights, based on their arena, could be kind of janky. There are things I like about this game, no doubt. Especially the baby Metroid bit towards the end, and just seeing the Metroids evolve for the first time is really nice. But overall, this game is definitely outshined by the fan remake AM2R and the official Nintendo remake Metroid II Samus Returns. And I will absolutely do Let's Plays of those games when I get around to it. Now then, since the credits are over, let's see how we did in terms of time. Ah yes, the very out-of-place cursive "the end," for some reason. 2 hours and 45 minutes. And that gives us the classic Samus as a woman reveal. That's actually the best possible ending we can get, with 5 or so hours giving us the second best, and then much beyond that, giving us the worst. I'm glad I got the best ending this time. That's more than I could say for the original game, even though we did still reveal Samus's identity there. But yeah, the third installment in the Metroid franchise is one of my absolute favorites, and I can't wait to get to that Let's Play, so I hope you all enjoyed this one. Thank you all so much for watching, and have yourself a very good day.